My Hero Academia. Okay, you know, this chapter is really satisfying because I had so many questions and was so confused last chapter, and this chapter just answers them all. I'm really happy about that.
You're wrong. It's My Villain Academia.
My Villain Academia.
So I have to agree with you heavily on this one. I actually fairly enjoyed this chapter. It's not on the same level as One Piece, but man.
And all the My Hero fans just bail.
But man, Hirokoshi came back from that break flexing. He's like, all right, fucked up on my last arc. I can't fuck up on this one.
Seriously.
Bro.
Like, let's jump right into what essentially amounts to the KKK of the My Hero Academia world. It's fucked up. You have to talk about it, Thurman. I can't. I'm a white dude. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Bro, this man brought out the fucking racial KKK ex-Nazis right here. Hirokoshi
quirks that like change people's bodies in this world. It makes total sense. That's what I love about Horikoshi. He makes this world that makes fucking sense. That would totally exist. You know it would. Like, oh, okay, we're okay with people that can shoot lasers out of their fucking belly buttons, but your skin's a little gooey or you're a lizard, fucking have to die.
Bro, Hirokoshi's love on American culture with these mutants. Shit.
Wait, I thought you were dissing America hardcore. Like Horikoshi loves American culture with the KKK. Oh boy.
He's doing the positives and negatives of American society.
Hell yeah.
He's showing the Japanese audiences that America is not so bad, besides the fact there's an organization that hates every other race except the whites.
Blankety, and it just keeps going. You know the fucking... You ever watch Emperor's New Groove where she's like, you must be my great, 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 great...
Yeah.
It's just a list of things that are horrible with America. But no, let's talk about how they just fucking annihilate them, though. That's kind of nice. Like, you know, all those Marvel comics back in the day where Captain America would be punching a Nazi and shit? Like, it's kind of like Horikoshi's version of that. Like, he introduces the My Hero Academia's equivalent of the KKK, and two pages later, we just get to see them brutally murdered. And it's quite satisfying, I must say.
I feel like this part was like an answer to like a lot of people are pissed that I know you saw in our comment section a lot of people were upset that the league is getting fucked up.
Yeah,
so I think
got one shot or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like
and this chapter actually confirms it wasn't one shot. It was like it said the battle went on for a long time.
Yeah, so you know I feel like this chapter is kind of like, you know, trying to give the league, you know, their time to shine. I have to say, I really enjoyed the league's relationship.
Yeah.
I feel like I say this every My Academia chapter, but I just have to keep saying it, is that Hirokoshi is so good at making characters. Like, he makes this organization doesn't really feel like a villain organization. These feel like a bunch of people who are kind of friends.
Bro, that's the same way I feel about the Phantom Troop in Hunter x Hunter. You feel me on that?
Like, yeah, it feels like their goals are just more than goals, you know. They're talking, having conversations, you know, butting heads. Like, it feels more than just like, oh, we're gonna change the world. We have our different ideals.
And well, because they all have different ideals, but they all come together with the same ideal of I want to change the world. They all have different ways they want to change the world, but they all generally want to change the world. And speaking of how they interact, I love the little subtle things of like I love Toga just like trying on different jewelry with Twice. I think that's the little things like that are so cute.
Her fucking thing broke too.
Yeah, well, actually, and it makes I hadn't thought about this. Think about it though; it's a good point. Like, All for One was funding them. Remember that, right? He was giving them all money. Like, remember early series? Like, literally, it would be like he'd Skype call All for One. Which I want to edit that now. I want to edit like Shigaraki trying to Skype All for One and it lagging and shit. That'd be funny. But no, he basically fucking Skypes up All for One and he's like, I want another Nomu, and we need more equipment. And he's like, all right, I guess. Like, that was kind of the dichotomy between them. But now they don't have that. And I hadn't really thought about this, but it's a good point that he brought this up. All of their weapons are fucked up. All of their, like, supplies are fucked up. They don't hardly have any food. You see they're eating, like, rationed type food. Like, the reason I thought about this, too, is remember I told you I've been watching School Live?
Yeah.
What Shigaraki's eating looks like hardtack. Like, I don't know if you know what hardtack is, but in School Live, they ate something called hardtack, and I looked it up, and it was, like, military-style rations of, like, hard biscuit crackers. So, like, it looks like they're eating, like, really shitty, like, hard, you know, like, just shitty, like, ration food, and like, all of Toga's, like, special equipment that she most likely got from, like, underworld black market dealings of, like, hero outfits. That's all gotten fucked up now. So, it's interesting. Because it also made me think of the group we just got introduced to has heavy ties to that company that makes new hero stuff. So I wonder, I know they want to take down the hero or the villain league, but I wonder if like they could really take down the villain league quite easily by just pretending to like be like, oh, we'll supply you with new clothes and new equipment, villain league, and then just fucking sabotage them all. Just make them like blow up. They could do that.
It's possible too. It's a strategy, but I feel like this the guy there is more like a Joker level. I feel like he wants to be up and push.
That's too easy.
Yeah, he wants a challenge.
I want to snap their neck like my mouse, bear, rabbit boy.
And then we see the boy Dabi may or may not be related to Endeavor and his family.
Dabi's looking more and more epic every time I see him.
Bro, what Sasuke should have been.
I also, by the way, you want to talk about a line that I fucking love, okay? Everyone is garbage. The streets are filled with trash just living their lives without any kind of goals or ambition. Oh!
Facts.
That is the biggest of facts, bro! Like, the amount of, like, people that just have no ambitions in life and they're just happy going to work, going home, watching shitty reality TV, sleeping, and going to work and just repeating that for the rest of their fucking miserable existence. That shit is infuriating to me. I'm like, wake up, do something with your life. You know, so like I feel that, and I feel that from Dabi. Dabi's going out trying to find people to join their cause, and he's like, no, just the majority of people are just fucking nothing.
Trash.
They're just nothing human beings. They're just nothing people. You know, and I've had this, like, you know, I love my sister to death, but you know I've told you this. I look at my sister. I have a sister, by the way. Surprise. But and like she's just like the most normal bleh human being of all time. She's nice, but I look at her and I'm like, you don't have passions or hobbies. Like, what do you do with your life? What do you live for? And she would say, oh, my kids. And I'm like, all right, that's very noble of you. But essentially, you can be your own person. I don't know. I'm going too much in my personal life, but like,
he just said that's noble of you.
Well, because essentially, if you're a mother that like your entire life is your kids and you don't do anything else, you're essentially just like a sacrifice for your children. Like, I will sacrifice my life for my kids, and you know, it's like, all right, that's great, but you can be your own person too.
Bruh, that shit is fucking hilarious. The way you said that shit is fucking funny. That is a GIF meme somehow.
Well, that's why, and the reason I brought that up is because I really relate to Dabi there. Because, like, the kind of people I respect are the kind of people that want to change the world. The kind of people that, you know, want to go out, marches, rallies, fucking, you know, even if not that, it's the kind of people that want to write a book, the kind of people that want to make a TV show, the kind of people that want to make a movie, the kind of people that want to climb a mountain one day. Just have a goal and do something. I feel Dabi on this, like, honestly.
Well, my siblings are like that, so it's all
normies
good.
Or not normies?
Not normies.
Oh, that's good.
My brother achieved his goal.
What was it?
Being a cop.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah.
Is he one of the, I'm guessing he's one of the good ones since he's, you know, not white.
Yeah, he's one of the good ones.
Honestly, that's one of the few areas where I will kind of participate in identity politics. It's probably good to have more black cops considering. Yeah.
That shit's fucking hilarious.
We need more lizard people cops in the My Hero Academia world.
So I need you to remind me of this. The guy with the portal. He was taken into custody, correct?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was around the same. I honestly I didn't remember him being captured, so I just took that as a reveal. Like, oh, he was captured, but it may have been said. I just don't remember.
I didn't. I was like, wait, because I thought he was. So I'm like, did he get captured or did he like leave? Because he was the one that always left. He was the one that always left back in early thing. He always kind of he was always there, but he never really was like there. You know what I mean?
He always gave me the vibe as someone that like All For One like kind of like put in their group just to kind of like watch over Shigaraki, you know?
Yeah.
Because what's interesting about the League of Villains is up until like now, the early stage League of Villains was very much like it was almost like All For One like think of like Shigaraki as like All For One's like pet, you know, like I'm gonna put my hamster in its little ball and I'm gonna watch and see what it does, you know, because that's literally what is happening. Like he basically just sets Shigaraki down and he's like, I'll supply you with whatever you need and I'm just gonna see what happens. Like that is the hardcore vibe I got, and I got the vibe that what's his fucking name? Portal Guy, I'll just call him, because fuck names. I got the vibe that Portal Guy was in on that, you know, just like supply him, help him, be transportation for him. Portal Guy was his fucking designated driver. That's what it was. Portal Guy was like, oh, hey, can you drive my son to school today?
Kind of like Fenrir from Black Clover. That's funny.
Oh, I guess. Yeah, but like either way, I mean, like... It's interesting, right? So now that because even in this chapter, you see him he's there to like keep Shigaraki on track. He's like, hey, I know you're in a rut now, but I can get you this power. You just say the word, I'll get you the power. Like he's so him and All For One and everyone that works for All For One is like on this path to like they want to mold Shigaraki to be the perfect like successor, and it's all this big head game. And I don't even know I wonder if Shigaraki is aware of the fact that he's being used, because he is. You know, like the entire thing is like, I'm gonna let myself get captured here, and that'll make him pissed off, and that'll make him evolve here, and then I'm gonna have, you know, like it's all this big like mind game to like mold Shigaraki into what he wants him to be. It's fucked up, honestly.
It is. But Shigaraki's honestly, he's becoming more of like mature for it.
Oh yeah, he's becoming his own person for sure. And one day, I hope he like has a realization, like, oh, you guys have like molded my life.
Like look at the character development he'd had. He arguably has some of the best character development in the series. Like he's
definitely that's why he fascinates me.
At first, he was like literally spoiled child level, like where Stain pissed him off, and then after the whole Deku situation where he was like, "Oh, it's all because of All Might. We're just gonna kill All Might," and then literally after he met Chisaki, he changed to now. So he's changed as a person, and you can see that the change is literally like he's
much calmer. Like look at him.
Yeah, so I think it's great, and. This guy named Stunner, man. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vibes over here.
Well, yeah, remember, he was the one that joined in as a massive Stain, like cult follower, and obviously Stain and the League of Villains had their differences of opinion as well. Like Stain wasn't a fan of the League of Villains, which is why I think that this guy is starting to realize that, like, yeah, like this really isn't like where I should be if I want to like follow in Stain's footsteps,
Mm-hmm. A lot of them were actually with Stain. Toga was.
That's
and
true,
was.
Yeah. But I think if anything, that shows how people can really like get their goals muddled up, right? Because like it's ironic that Stain would have never wanted if anyone was followers of Stain, he would have never wanted them to like join the League of Villains, and yet a lot of them did, because a lot of times goals. What's up?
It's the best alternative, right?
Well, it's not even just that. I think that like when Stain's shit was reported, I think even wasn't that kind of like Togura's or Shigaraki's like kind of like half goal as well. Like, oh, we'll sweep up the remnants of his followers, and they won't know that we were at odds. People will just think that we have the same goals.
Yeah, I think the reason what pissed him off is that Toga he wanted to have.
Toga hated All Might, whereas Stain really like looked at All Might as like a god figure. Yeah.
No, Shigaraki wanted the notoriety.
Not Toga, I'm sorry, Shigaraki, yeah.
Shigaraki wanted the notoriety. He was pissed that Stain stole all the glory just because of Stain's ideals. He overshadowed them, and I think and the reason why I feel like they joined the League of Villains is because like it's whether we want to believe it or not, they're like the closest thing to like what Stain. Obviously, like you said, Stain wouldn't agree with them enjoying. But I mean, what's their alternative? There's no really good alternative for them to change the world like that. The League of Villains is one of the ones that it's like you wanting this job. You have the qualifications for that job, but you can't really do that job because of certain things. So you have to do something that's similar to that job, but it's not exactly like the job you wanted to get. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I feel you. I think a lot of it is like like we all know there's a lot of manipulation going on in this whole thing, and like I just think that a lot of people that like Stain, well, like, there's so many different ideologies going on, right? Because like Shigaraki just wants like full on anarchy basically, whereas Stain didn't want that at all. Stain just wanted heroes to be what heroes should be. So honestly, I think, as someone who is a follower of politics and stuff, I think that, if anything, it could be seen as, like, a message on, like, how easily it is to get, like, intentions confused, right? So, like, the amount of, you know, like, oh, here's a person who said this thing, and how many retweets and how many this, until it's like, he actually said this thing, and then the guy's like, no, I didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I see it as, like, Stain wanted this, but because people just kind of take whatever, people will take someone's message and muddle it to whatever they want it to be.
Yep.
Look at Toga. Toga was like, oh, I like Stain, but why? It wasn't like what Toga wants and what Stain wants is not even at all close. Toga just doesn't like life. It's too hard. Toga is like, life's too hard. Fuck, I don't want to get a job. I don't want to go to school. It sucks. That is not at all what Stain wanted. You know, so Toga wants a system where it's like, fuck all norms, fuck government, fuck regularity. I want just anarchy so I can do what I want, not have to be expected to get a job, yada, yada. Stain just wants, again, heroes to reform. So all these people that are joining because of Stain really just looked at Stain and implanted their own ideals onto Stain as like a figurehead for their ideals, even though Stain wouldn't have even agreed with those ideals. There's a lot of deepness and layers to that.
Yeah, definitely. And it shows here. This chapter kind of shows it. Definitely. You know, because Stunner's like, okay, war, because he's right. They lost their funding. They're basically,
they're in a shitty place.
It's funny too, because think about it. When's the last time we saw a League of Villains where they fucked up?
They were fucking the hell out of Chisaki, yeah.
Like, bro, that's insane. They went from having a victory over the fucking mob boss to now. Like, can you imagine that? Like, we haven't seen the League of Villains in how many months?
Chapter-wise, in our time, over a year, easily.
Yeah, besides Dabi's, little introduction. But that's insane. Literally, the last time we saw them, they were fucking celebrating the fact that they literally overplayed Chisaki. Until now, they're living on fucking scraps.
And you even have Compress mention, like, man, if we worked for them, we'd be eating fucking shrimp and caviar.
Like you would think that they would take their riches and shit like that, right? But no, they're still in scraps. That's crazy to me.
Well, I don't think that, because how does one take their? They can't take their riches, because when Chisaki was arrested, he was arrested. It was like he was arrested. The authorities came in. The authorities would have collected all of his assets and property that way before they could have taken any of it.
That's true. I mean, if you were smart, you probably would have taken his assets before that happened.
I mean, I guess it would depend on, like, if he had, like, a literal safe, like, because obviously all that, if we remember back to what happened, you had, Shigaraki had some people in Chisaki's base. Like, I know that Toga was in there and a couple others were in there. So I guess you could have gone down the route of, like, he has some safe with all of his shit in it, I guess. But, like, I don't think they were thinking about that. And if you remember correctly, they were in and out of that really quickly, because, like, shit got crazy and they had to get out. So I don't know.
It's funny to me, because if you think about it, it seems to me that this was were they already poor before they had Chisaki's help, or was that like?
Well, remember, like I said earlier, they were not poor because they were funded by All for One. All for One got them whatever they wanted.
But I'm saying, like, were them leading up to this point losing riches over time, or were they already in the slump?
The way I understood it was that when All for One got captured, they were, what they had from All for One was able to last them a couple months, but now they've kind of spiraled to where they are now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did it last them just now, or were they already at that, like, grasping for straws point when they were working with Chisaki?
I'm taking it as now. It's just like all their shit is like worn out. Like, Toga had that, like, specially ordered way she fights, and, like, all of her, like, little needle sucky whatever the fuck things are all broken now. It's just because they haven't really had any chance or money or time to repair it. It's just, I just think that, like, over time all their shit has just been degrading.
Yeah, because to me, I'd feel like Chisaki would give them at least some funds so they can help them with their project. I think that'd be a smart thing to do. But
I'm not sure how long Chisaki and Shigaraki were like in an alliance before Shigaraki just fucked him over. It was a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah, because my thinking is, okay, well then if they still had a couple of months of without the funding. So my thinking is, okay, Shigaraki went into the base, so he's like, okay, we'll provide you guys funding for not really funding, but we'll give you guys like an allowance or something so you guys can get gear to gear up.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I mean, do you think that's like I'm trying to remember why they originally started to like did the whole like thing with Chisaki? Like, what was the original purpose of that? Do you remember? I'm gonna feel like an idiot now.
I feel like I remember, but it'll take me like a while.
You can certainly headcanon, unless like I'd have to go back and look, and I probably will after the video. But like, maybe the Chisaki thing was like to kind of like temporarily get some funding, but because Shigaraki is Shigaraki, he was never ever gonna work under someone,
Yeah, because their goals were it was something to do with getting rid of quirks, but I think it was
Chisaki. I wanted to. Yeah, Chisaki had the quirk bullets and shit. Yeah.
Something I don't know. We have to go back and look, but it's been a while.
Yeah, no, but what I do like though a lot is this like kind of like clash of ideals and like verbal scuffle between Shigaraki and the Stain follower. Hell, no, I'm not gonna remember his name. Be angry. I'm sorry. There's too many names. And let's be honest, this guy hasn't been that important. He was just the fucking idiot with like 20 swords duct taped together in the fucking summer camp arc.
So commenters, be angry with him because this guy can remember every single Bleach name in existence, but he can't even remember My Hero Academia. But to play devil's advocate with him, he did say it was because he saw the anime first and that's easy to remember. So
a lot of my ability to remember names comes from the anime where the first time I watched it was English dub anime. Like, that's the first time I experienced it. Then all those names get, like, locked into my head. But when I read it, I don't know how to pronounce any of the names. So I just kind of ignore them. So, like, when I'm reading a fucking manga, a lot of times when I get to a name, I just skip over it. I'm like, so I'll be reading it like, oh, what the hell? I'll just ignore the name completely. It just goes over my head because I'm like, I'm never going to be able to pronounce that. And then it doesn't sink into my head. Wow, the only reason I know Komurasaki's name from One Piece is because I watched reviews where people called her Komurasaki, but I don't watch any other My Hero reviews. I don't find that interesting. I don't really want to. I don't care.
Oh, never mind. I didn't get the correlation. My bad. Continue.
The correlation is I need to hear someone say it. I need to hear the name said, and this is way too long of a conversation. No one gives a fuck.
This is an intellectual conversation. We are very, very, very intellectual right now.
But yeah, I mean, what did you think about that kind of clash that they had? I thought it was interesting.
I thought it was great. I'm really happy because this man is he's pulling some fucking Foot Clan talking to Shredder, and even though Shredder ripped his head off through the Foot Clan member. But
well, you know what I like about Shigaraki here? He's so calm. Like look, his response to that is he's literally he's like I said, like he's pretty chill about it until the shit goes down. I mean, also Toga, by the way, during that entire yelling match, Toga's just yawning. She's like, ah.
I saw that, bro. Because think about it, he's not wrong, right? Wouldn't you be upset if the organization or the organization you or group you're a part of that you had your faith in, right? Like you're trying to do something amazing with, is in that incredible slump, and then the leader is kind of like
he's just sitting there doing nothing. Yeah, he's like Dobby's doing more. Dobby's out there doing shit.
Right, like you kind of you'd be like, okay, well then, what the hell is your goal? Right? Do you forget what we're here for?
Yeah, and I like that too because I've been like think about being a part of anything. Like, oh man, we're this channel for like, oh, we've got so much momentum. Why are we gonna stop now? Like there's so many things that I can feel this like hard. I've been part of plenty groups where it's like, okay, why are we stopping now? Why are we doing this and we're wrong? Like, that happens. Groups fall apart. Now this fucking guy. I like that this guy is like literally emotional about the fact that he's so weak. Like, damn it, he's not strong enough. That I did not expect.
So I called this, by the way.
Remind me.
He says, for all for one, I devote my everything. Mm-hmm. Well then, successor, show me whether or you're worthy or not. I said this, didn't I?
Oh yeah, that he was just a dude who was like, I wanna. He respected All for One and he wanted to make sure. Yeah, I think you did. Mm-hmm.
we did call. So it's basically confirmed that this is the power that they were talking about. Basically,
this is the power, but then there's also a doctor that they were talking about as well. The doctor that kind of like kept All for One okay medically, like, you know, changed his IVs, did all that shit.
Yeah, so
and that's what, that guy is talking to him over the radio at the end of the chapter.
So this is I'm curious, man. I'm liking that Horikoshi is giving some time for the My Villain Academia portion of this.
Yeah, I would love it if like the next like 10 chapters are just from their perspective. That'd be interesting.
Oh, that'd be fucking amazing.
Because like, what are the main characters doing right now? They're just chilling.
Yeah, they're living life.
Also, is there any way to somehow tie Gentle Criminal into this? I need to know.
No, that's boys dropping the soap.
Oh, no. Don't leave Gentle. He's too pure to get butt fucked in jail. Gentle Criminal is a pure soul, full of love.
He's not gonna be pure anymore after those dick to the mask cheeks.
That's sad. I'm sad.
Too tight ass up.
That's all right. Anyway, but no, I mean, I guess final thoughts on this chapter, Thurman.
Oh yeah, I fairly enjoyed it. I really like it. I mean, we kind of called it with the ending here. I want to see how, because at the end of the first chapter, he had a plan for how he's going to do this. So I'm curious to see how he's going to convince this guy, because I feel like once he beats this guy, they're going to have an extremely powerful member on their side, which is going to be.
They basically have their own version of the Incredible Hulk right now, like Loki style. We have a Hulk.
So I'm curious to see how Shigaraki, because this is going to do two things, right? First, it's going to give them an incredible ally. Two, Shigaraki is going to prove his dominance as being a leader of the league if he by himself, or at least commands good enough to subdue this guy. This is going to be really well done on both ends for Shigaraki. So I'm really interested to see how he does this.
It's good character shit for him. And I remember back when I first got into My Hero, like I would always talk to people about how good of a villain Shigaraki is, because he is legitimately fascinating. Like, his character path is just fascinating to me. So I'm glad we're getting more from him for sure.
Yep.
I guess, and with that, peace.